It is the one and only Mr. Bo Nickal. Bo,
Thanks.
how are you, sir? You well?
Doing well. Made weight, so stress is over. Yeah.
A walk in the park, I'm sure.
No problem.
Done it many times. Listen, I know that you've seen the betting line. What is your thought process on it? Because something like that does put extra pressure on a person as they make the walk.
Yeah, I feel like it makes sense. The math definitely checks out when I think about the odds, and for me, it's not really a big concern. I'm just going out there to perform my best, and that's about it.
All your buddies disappointed because they can't make any money on you this weekend?
I've been getting text messages and stuff, hey, when's the line going to be reasonable on you and stuff. I'm like, I don't know, I think this one's pretty reasonable. Might want to just, get your cash up or something.
You're an incredibly hard worker, incredibly successful, but you're also extremely humble. I'm sure you got a tremendous amount of respect for Val Woodburn for stepping up short notice like this. We were just talking to him. I'm sure you know this because you'll know everything there is to know about wrestling. He doesn't have a wrestling background.
Right.
So what does that say to you? What is the thought process? What are your coaches saying?
Yeah, anytime I go into a fight, I'm obviously going to have a big wrestling advantage. In this fight, that's...
Regardless if they've been a wrestler.
Regardless,
exactly.
It doesn't really matter.
That's a good point.
I feel like for me personally, if I wanted to, step back into wrestling and compete in the Olympics in 2024, I'd have a great shot at a gold medal, right? And those are the best guys in the world that have been wrestling their entire lives. And so now I come into the UFC, and there's really nobody that I see that's in that scenario where they've had, 15, 20 years of experience. I have, and if you've never wrestled before, you're fighting me. I don't think that it's going to go super well. Just being honest.
Do you feel now, Bo, that we know that as fans, you know that? Do you feel there's an extra pressure on you now to go? Because we've seen this kind of with Ronda Rousey. She armbarred everybody, and then she went, right, I'm going to start beating people with my hands now. Is there a fear with yourself that people know I can out wrestle you, so let's have a stand-up war? And do you feel like a little bit of pressure to kind of show? Because I'm sure your wrestling speaks for itself, but I'm sure your entire game is, getting there now to be a fully rounded game.
It's really, for me, it's fun to learn all these new disciplines, and I treat every discipline, striking, jiu-jitsu, with the same respect and reverence that I do with wrestling. And I know my skills in these other disciplines aren't where my wrestling is, but by the time my career is over, I plan to be, able to compete at a world-class level in boxing and Muay Thai and jiu-jitsu in any martial art. And so it's just for me about time. I got to put as much time in as I can in the training room, and I got to put as much time as I can film study and being around the right people, and those things will come. But at the same time, I'm always going to have that wrestling base, and every single fighter that I fight is going to feel that.
Yeah.
When you speak to your manager and you talk about your career, and even when your manager maybe discusses it with the UFC, what is the what's the word I'm looking for? What is the kind of trajectory that you're on? At what point do you think you're going to start stepping up towards ranked people? How quickly do you think that will come?
Right. I think that if you look at where I'm at right now, I'm 4-0. I've been fighting professionally a little over a year, and I'm not in a rush.
Of course.
I'm 27 years old, so I can spend easily another 8 years in this sport, and that's conservative. And so for me, I'm not looking to push too far too fast, because my goal is to be the pound-for-pound #1 fighter in the world, UFC champion, defend my belt 10 times, and have a long time to do that. So I could see myself starting to get into ranked opponents possibly next year, and then moving up as we see fit. And of course the plan can change and it can be fluid, but for me it's, again, improving every single day and getting better every single day, and then I'll reach my goals.
And that's clearly very wise, smart, and the way you should approach it. However, the only thing that I can see that is going to force you, because people aren't going to want to take a fight.
I know.
Exactly.
People are going to turn you down. You're going to, and the only people that are willing, and even then, even ranked guys might be like, no way, I've been slogging away for 5 years to get to this point. I'm not sacrificing it for Bo Nickal.
Yeah, and with that being said, I'm okay to train for 6 months if I need to, right? Like, I have thousands and thousands of competition reps between wrestling. I don't have as many in fighting, obviously, but competing at a high level since I was a little kid. And so I don't feel like I need to fight 10 times a year, right? I fought a lot this past year, just beginning, but moving forward, maybe I fight twice a year, maybe I fight 3 times a year, and that's fine with me. I'm going to make all those developments in the training room. I think every camp I improve so much, and the development of the fight is really in the camp and in making weight and feeling the pressure and being in the spotlight. What happens in the fight is a formality. So my development is all in training.
Mike's just been talking about making that walk for the first time. Obviously your opponent's going to experience that at the weekend. You've done it. You stepped out the apex. What is that like? It must be some buzz when that curtain comes back.
It's incredible, you know. Doing that is really what I live for. That's one of the biggest reasons that I transitioned from wrestling to MMA. In wrestling in the Olympics, you know, obviously everybody competes at a high level, but you don't get this atmosphere. And that's what I had in college wrestling, and that's what I really, like I was saying, I live for that. Those are where I feel like I shine the brightest and the most exciting moments of my life. I want to do that as much as I possibly can. And so anytime I get to do that, it's a huge opportunity. I'm going to make the most of it.
You've got an idea for his ring walk, haven't you? You want him to go full Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
I am a real American.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
You know, it's actually so funny that you said that, because my manager was like, yo, you got to put this on for your walkout.
Do it, bro. Do it.
So this is the thing. I've been walking out to the same song. It's Hand to God by John Bellion since I was a sophomore in college.
Great song.
So I've been keeping it consistent, but maybe I'll get somebody to mash it up and put it together. So.
Talk to me about professional wrestling. Who was your favorite wrestler? I mean, who were you a big fan of as a kid?
Man, I loved professional wrestling growing up. I was always watching it. My favorite dude was Goldberg. I love the Goldberg spear.
Yeah.
The Goldberg spear. He was just so jacked.
No, sorry, not Mike Goldberg. What am I saying? He's the commentator.
Can you imagine
Bill Goldberg?
Goldberg.
I know, Bill. I'm like, Mike Goldberg. Practically identical.
Yeah, but I love pro wrestling. It's so fun to watch. You know, there's so many cool characters. Obviously, you know, now there's a good bit of crossover with the companies and stuff. So, you know, maybe eventually then I'll dip my toes into pro wrestling as well.
You mean
But hold on. Listen, you're humble, you're nice, you're a hard worker, you're studious, you're never controversial. I mean, when you cross over to become a professional wrestler, what's the character gonna be?
What are you going for?
What are we going for?
The way you describe me right there, it seems like a guy that pretty much everybody can get behind and root for.
Well,
so, I don't really got to be the villain. I feel like, you know, I feel like I'm just a guy that everybody wants to win. You know?
So you just be the good guy, the
Yeah.
opposite of the heel.
Yeah, I feel like I like that position. I like the, you know, the kind of the heel, the guy that's coming up that everybody's afraid of. I'm like the hero that comes in and smashes them, and everybody wins. Everybody's excited.
The guardian angel.
I like it, man. Listen, bro, enjoy the day, man.
Thank you.
Enjoy the day.
Guys.
We're looking forward to seeing you do your thing once again.
Take care.
Bo Nickal in action, kicking off the main card against debutant Val Woburn, who stepped in last minute.